Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Club. This is the place everyday real estate investors gather to share their best stories, biggest insights, and favorite tactics to grow a portfolio of cash flowing properties in today's market. Here's your host, Gabe Peterson.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have Nathan Payne from Investor Thrive with us. And before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to apologize. We are on the road today, so we're improvising. I'm sitting in the hotel room, so if the audio sounds a little bit different, it's just because I don't have all the fancy equipment with me. But you know, in real estate, we roll with the punches, and so Nathan and I are here. We're ready to rock and roll. Nathan, thank you very much for hopping on the podcast.
Hey, a pleasure. And that is so true. You got to roll with the punches. I mean, that's all I've been doing over the last couple months right now. Exactly.
I was actually just recently on Nathan's podcast. We were joking because we each love Kirkwood Signature. We are Costco fanboys.
That is correct. I didn't wear my Costco stuff today, though. I should have.
It's all right. Next time. But the reason you like Costco so much is because Costco is a wholesale company and you are a wholesale rock star in real estate. So that is what we're here to talk about. Nathan, before we get down that road, I do want to ask, we always start with stories. So why don't you take us to the beginning of your story? How'd you get started in real estate?
Great question. So I got started in real estate because I was doing door-to-door sales all throughout college, ran teams. And after a while, I just didn't want to do door-to-door anymore because I felt like that wasn't probably the career path for me to be like a 40-year-old, 50-year-old man knocking people's doors, and people be like, what the heck are you doing?
So what's that book, The Death of a Salesman or something like that? It's like the most depressing sales book ever. That would definitely get you to do that.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So I, was didn't want to do that. I got married, and then my wife also with door-to-door sales, you got to move a lot, right? Because you got to go every summer to like a new area to get out of your comfort zone so you don't stay home. So I was like, okay, I got to do something else. I believe I'm skilled at talking to people, and I was like, what can make good money? And real estate was what I thought was I believed at the time was the key. So I just went right in, had no knowledge of real estate, didn't know anything, like zero knowledge, and just went and figured it out, dude. I started knocking doors trying to get a deal, and I got one. I got a deal knocking doors after like maybe 40 doors. Finally got one. It took it took 8 months to do, just because it was like the process to get it done took forever. We had to find a place for the lady to move, and she was dragging her feet, and we had to like use some sales tactics to be like, hey, if you stay here, you're not going to accomplish your goals. And she really could not stay there because she was going to lose it. But it took like, the ability to let her know that like where she wanted to go, she had to overcome this gap and this bridge in her life. And she was like tearing up, and it was like, man, we were doing a lot.
Jeez, that's a crash course in real estate right there.
Yeah, and my deals aren't like that anymore, man. It's like, for me, it's like, hey, you don't want to move, I ain't doing nothing for you.
Yeah, and that's that's one of the reasons that I really went to commercial, was that on the residential side it can be so there's so many emotions involved in this house. It can really be difficult. But getting started in door-to-door, actually door knocking, I always have a lot of respect for people who get started in real estate in that manner, because it is so difficult. One of the guys that I had on the podcast, he owns a huge company now, but he got started doing the same thing, and I was just in awe, because that's got to be hard. I sent out letters, I called people. I didn't have the courage to actually go and door knock.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of enjoy it because it's every door you meet like a new personality, right? You meet a new person, and you never know what you're going to get, right? Like, I got a gun pulled out on me once, and knocking on the door, and I was like, hey, man.
All right, man, it's good. We're done.
I kept my cool for some reason. I was like, man, I'm just trying to upgrade your dish. I see you got a dish on the roof. And the guy was like, get out of here, boy. It was like in the middle of like probably a pretty racist area. It was like, the middle of like the border of Texas, Oklahoma. We would always target like areas outside of metros, mainly because the cable was bad and I was selling satellite TV. So yeah, I think they might have seen me and been like, who's this guy coming around my house? So
That you live to fight another day. That's good.
I was ready to go though, bro. If I was gonna get shot, I was ready.
That's right. You got your sneakers on.
That's right.
So you got started door to door. It didn't end that way. Obviously, you've gone since then. So how has your story progressed from that door to door to where you are now?
Dude, I wish I could say like everything went smooth. Like it's not, that's not how it is for me. It's been a roller coaster ride of just wins and losses nonstop. And I'm very transparent with people about like, hey, that's just real estate. Like I'll tell you right now, like I just lost 26K on a deal, which
Oof,
sucks.
that sucks. Was
Yeah,
that earnest money?
it was a subject to deal where we
Mm.
took over the mortgage, gave him a down payment, and the market dropped. He didn't move out. There was like we could sue and like get him to perform, but like the contract, unfortunately, like it was not as ironclad as we believed it was when we were signing everything.
Mm.
They said, oh, it's vague, right? So it's like, okay, we could sue this guy for us giving him down and the situation, but I just chalked it up to like terrible experience,
A
like a learning
lesson. Yep.
experience. And
Yep.
and and it's true. As I was like trying to fight this thing in the beginning when it happened, it was draining so much energy from me, bro. It was like taking so much of my time, my feelings, and my thoughts. And I just came to a conclusion, like, yeah, this sucks, but this is going to, if I keep this going, it's going to impact me more than if I just like let it go,
Yep.
So
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like that's a really good lesson to learn because it is, I'm dealing that right now with a self storage facility that I'm selling. You
mhm.
really have to go. You have to make the decision every time you start running into problems in your deals, whether the small amount of money that you could incrementally earn if you were to put a ton of more effort is worth that effort. Sometimes 26,000, it's a lot. It's a tough thing to hit. It's a tough thing to take on your chin, but is it worth 6 months of your effort in court battles and all that just draining,
Yeah.
stressful experience to actually go down? So it sounds like you made the right decision, even though it was a tough lesson to learn.
Oh, it's a powerful lesson to learn, especially when you do subject to deals and stuff like creative financing. You got to be really tight with what you do in those because they can get really funky really quick.
Yep. Yep. And it sounds like another good lesson is the contract. And I always stress with people, know your contracts, get a lawyer if you don't know your contracts, because contracts, you live and die by them in real estate. And that's another fine line that you have to walk is if you have it too complicated of a contract, then you're going to be in contract negotiations for 10 years before you actually start finishing that deal. But if
Yeah.
it's too loose, then you'll get into situations like this where you can lose $26,000. So,
Yeah.
is there anything that you're going to change with your contract going forward?
Well, this situation like was more of a trust issue. Like I closed on it and let the seller on a subject to deal stay in the property because he said he was going to update it. So
Okay.
once we gave him the down to use towards the updating of the property because we were technically like going to partner on it. Like we give you the money, you fix it up, and then sell it. So he takes the money, doesn't fix it up, and then won't vacate. So it's like.
Yeah. Right.
And our balloon period was too short as well. We were riding on the fact that the market was so hot at the time when we purchased it that we would be able to sell it. Even if he didn't fix it, we calculated like, okay, if he doesn't fix it, we can still sell it and make a profit because Utah is so over. I guess the price has skyrocketed over the last 2 years, appreciated. They've also depreciated very quick. So that house that could have sold is like $150,000 less than what we thought. So it's like,
Oof.
hey, either way, this wasn't going to work,
Yeah. 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 And that's a hard thing, timing the markets. It's very easy for markets to turn around. And so you really got to be cognizant of how much you're baking into the underwriting for that.
Yeah, for sure. So lots of good lessons. I mean, I mainly wholesale, so I don't really have this problem. I don't stay in deals, but I was like, this is a no-brainer. And it was not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is just one lesson among, however many deals you've done. And so things always, you take lessons and then you move on. Why don't we talk a little bit more about your bread and butter, what you do today? Tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so currently my business is centered around doing deals through JVing. Like I have a community, so I help a lot of people find buyers for their deals, and I have connections with my buyers that are buying. So I'll look for deals on the MLS. I'll look through other wholesalers' deals, and I'm just like a connecting guy. I don't. I had the business that wanted to was going out and looking for leads, filtering, negotiating, and then going all the way and dispoing them, finding a buyer. But I was like, that's a lot of work. And right now I wanted to go lean with my company. So I just said, well, what can I focus on? Let me focus on the back end. Let me just focus on what's the difficult part right now is selling deals. And I'll be the guy who can, be the go-to guy here that can, get your deal sold.
Got you. Okay. So you work with other investors who find the deals, negotiate the deals, get them on a contract, and then you take it from there and you help them. Do you help them buy it? Are you raising capital, or are you helping them just close the deals as a wholesale?
Find the buyer for the wholesale deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Because for example, like one guy, he had to bring up like 50,000 on a property to put down. So for the hard money lender, like 50 down, and then the hard money would have got the rest. And he's like, I don't know if I want to do 50K in the market. And I was like, well, I have a buyer. I mean, we can wholesale to one of my guys if you want. He's like, okay. So that's kind of how I got it done. So I made 15. He made 15. We split it. It was like a 30K assignment. And, so that's kind of how I helped him. So he didn't have to take it down.
Nice. I like it. So just taking notes here. So you help find buyers. That's one of the hardest parts about finishing a wholesale deal is getting the buyer in line, especially with the timetables, with making sure that everybody aligns on when things need to close. I guess let's talk about building a buyer's list. So how do you go about building a list? Do you vet your buyers at all? What is it that you do to make sure that the buyers that you're working with are actually going to make the closing table?
Yes, that's a great question. Before, I would say over the last 2 years, people weren't really vetting their buyers. They were just grabbing a big list and then emailing, texting, blasting, right? And what I believe now is it's all about relationships that will get deals done. Like you got to have a guy where you can explain why it's a good deal and get him to look at it. Because I think people aren't looking at deals that much anymore, especially like wholesalers deals that send out their trash, bro. This ain't, no one's making money on this. So the buyers are definitely not looking. Majority of them. So I think you need to just make 5 to 10 solid connections with buyers, find out what they want and go find it for them. I do this by going to RIAs, meetups. I do this by, and I do vet them, right? So you can do it by calling your hard money lender and saying who's still buying. You can call your title company and say who's still buying. Many different ways, but for me, I teach people just to do, I show them all the ways, but I say, hey, these are the best ways. Title company, hard money lender, Facebook groups, because people that are actively on there, like, hey, I'm buying, they're actually looking. That's kind of, those are some ideas, but yeah, they're finding a buyer is not tough if you know where to look.
Yeah. But I kind of want to call attention just to the fact that you do it opposite of what most people do. A lot of people, they find the deal and then they find the buyer. It sounds like you're doing it the opposite direction.
Yeah. So sorry, what I do, it's called Payneless wholesaling because my last name's Payne and I think it's Painless. Painful is the other way. I know because I've done it. Just find a deal and hopefully someone will buy it. So I call it Painless wholesaling, which essentially is reverse wholesaling. Yeah. So just to tell you.
Yeah. And I like that model because that is one of the hardest parts about getting a deal done is making sure that you have the right buyer. But if you start with a buyer, know their criteria, and then find that specific property, and you already have a built-in buyer once you can get that deal negotiated. And that works. Works residential, it works commercial. I feel like it especially works commercial because there are so many different specific things that you need that people are looking for. So if you can find that specific property for them, then it's not a guaranteed close. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed in real estate, but it makes it much more likely that you will close.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think it requires less of a team too. Like I had a big team that when a wholesale deal went through, everyone had to get paid. The leads managers, VAs, acquisitions managers, dispositions, transaction coordinator. But with this model, it's like you just need you and a VA. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing to note is how many people do you need to close a deal? It sounds like this, 2 people, that's a lot, cutting up the cake a lot less than you would normally.
Exactly.
So do you do this in residential and commercial?
So yes, I just wholesaled a eightplex for 30,000. And I wish I could have got more, but it was pretty much not a deal. The guy just had to take it because to save on taxes, which
Hmm.
I was just like, well, what can you give me? And we agreed on that. And yeah, so I commercial and single family, mainly focus on single family though.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So both commercial and single family. Do you have a specific metro that you work in, or do you do work all across the U.S.?
I specifically focus on Salt Lake City, but because of the community I have, I get deals brought to me from everywhere. I just got off a call with a guy in South Carolina. He's got a house in North Carolina. So would they bring me a deal? I'll help him. I'll call for him. I'll try to negotiate it, and I'll take it the rest of the way with him.
Cool. I love it. So that's not all you do. You also have your community. Let's talk a little bit about that. What is it? How do you help people? Take us through it.
Yeah, so I believe that what's the word for it? It's implementation is what people should pay for, not like knowledge. Knowledge is free with Chat GPT, PT, like you can get anything you want now,
I
right?
don't want to interject. I just tried Chat GPT like just recently, and I
Amazing.
asked it a few questions that it blew my mind. I asked it to write it was like 5 or 6 blogs for my self storage facilities in order to rank higher in SEO. And it just wrote it. It wrote it perfectly. I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. It blew my mind. I have high hopes for what's going to happen with AI in the future.
Copywriters are done for. I feel bad for
Yeah,
them.
for
They're
sure.
done. If you're like in the Philippines and you write like semi good, you're done.
Yeah.
So that's what my community is. It's like an implementation. Like if you want to apply stuff, if you want to hop on a call with me, want me to shadow you, you want my community to like work with you, like it's all about taking action because that's what gets paid. Yes, there's education, but again, education is free and you can get that anywhere. I want people to come in that are like, hey, let's go, let's call some people, let's do some work. And that's what the community is for, is to implement and take action.
Perfect. And I'm going to ask this again at the end, but let's put it in the middle too. If people do want to get involved, where can they go?
So investorthrive.com is my website. You can go and sign up right then. I have right there. I have a Facebook group called Payneless Wholesaling Group, and then there's a YouTube Nathan Payne. Any social media you hit me up on, it funnels to the product. That's how we set it up, right? So anywhere you meet me, you can sign up and join the community.
Cool. All right. Well, hey Nathan, that knocks out the main portion. It's time to jump into the quick question round. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's rock and roll. All right. It starts with books. I'm a big bookie, so give me 2 recommendations: one for general life wisdom and one for real estate specific.
I like Think and Grow Rich.
Mm.
So that I guess that could be the wisdom. And then for real estate, I'll be straight with you. I don't think I've ever read a real estate book. Never.
That's totally fair. Not even Rich Dad Poor Dad, huh?
I have. I think it was the audiobook. I haven't read it
Okay, that's
because
fair.
I get what it's about. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
If you know the message, which is very simple, then it's really not needed to be read.
Yeah.
What was the first one you mentioned? Oh, Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. I'm all about those self-help books, and like I love that. That's all I read is like Think and Grow Rich, Slide Edge, Go Giver, all that stuff. Like that's the good stuff.
Yeah, yep, those are good books. All right, next question. This is for your younger self. Let's go back to the Nathan who was just getting started door knocking. He was walking up to that first door. Go to him, look him in the eye, give him the one piece of advice moving forward.
Oh man, that's a great question. I'd say don't date my ex. That's what I would tell her.
Good advice.
That's what I'd tell
Good
him.
advice.
Yes.
All right, next question. This is about the U.S. It's a big place, a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of square miles. So give me one metro you're most excited about investing in today.
I like just Atlanta comes to mind. I think Atlanta's great.
Georgia. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's it's solid. All the southeast down there. Although you guys, Georgia, Florida, you guys are getting hit by hurricanes. I don't think I'd ever move there, but a great place to invest.
That's right.
Next question is strengths. We are all gifted with strengths that we uniquely give to this world. So what is your Superman strength?
I think my ability to put myself out there. I'm not afraid to ask for help. and try to provide value when I ask for help. Yeah. So I think that's a superpower, like connecting people and putting myself out there.
Yep, absolutely. All right, the next one is mentors. None of us are islands. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. So who is one mentor who contributed significantly to where you are today?
Oh man, I got tons of mentors that have helped me, because that's what I believe is the key to success, is to get around people who have done it. So I'd say Jerry Norton's been huge. That has, I don't know if you guys have seen him, but tons of Sean Terry. Like I've done tons. Tom Kroll's a giant mentor to me right now. So there's so many.
Nice. Absolutely. Yeah. There's so many people that contribute to where you are today. We always think, especially in real estate, that's so transactional. You can think that you're doing it on your own sometimes, but you never are. There are so many people who contribute to where you are. So it's great to hear all the shout outs there. Moving on, the next question is tools. Tools form the backbone of every business. So give me one tool that you could not live without.
Right now, I use HubSpot nonstop. HubSpot is my CRM. It's a marketing tool. It's for payments. It's the bee's knees.
All right. That leads us to the very last question. You've already mentioned this before, but I'm going to ask it again. You've given us a lot of good advice. I'm sure people want to reach out. Give us the best place for people to go to get in contact with you.
If you reach out to me on my Facebook, just Nathan Payne or Payneless Wholesaling group, that's probably the best way to reach me, because either I'll respond or I have a virtual assistant that will respond for me. That's the best way. All
right, cool. All right, well, Nathan, that wraps it up. Again, thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Man, a pleasure to be with a fellow Costco fan, Kirkland signature fan.
Absolutely. And for everybody who's here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, Gabe with realestateinvestingclub.com. And if you guys want to support the show, all we ask is that you give us a like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. That'll help us out tremendously. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
All right, before I officially sign off, I have a quick announcement to make. If you're interested in becoming a passive investor in one of my deals, my own company, Kaizen Properties, is looking for capital partners for our upcoming projects. We invest in what are known as recession-resistant assets, mainly self-storage facilities, mobile home and RV parks, and industrial properties. If you're interested in investing and would like to learn a little bit more about my company, our investing criteria, and some of the previous projects we've done, go to the Real Estate Investing Club podcast at therealestateinvestingclub.com and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. Click on the Invest With Us button. That'll pop up the investor form. Fill that out, and we will reach back out to you as soon as we can. Or if you prefer a little bit more of a personal touch, you can reach out to me at gabe@therealestateinvestingclub.com. So really, that is it. Again, it was a pleasure hanging out with you guys during this episode, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.